friends, this is Carmen with you today, and today I'm going to be potting up these cuttings of a jade plant that my YouTube friend Jewelyn from I Love Jewelyn channel, I'll leave a link down below to her channel. She sent me these beautiful cuttings. I actually won them. She was having a giveaway on her channel for some cuttings of this jade plant. It was actually a tree, very large tree. It looked like it was very old, at least, I don't know, 15-20 years old. It looked like it was so big. Fortunately, the tree has since been cut down by gardeners, I guess, that didn't know the value of a good old jade tree. But I managed to win these cuttings from the tree in front of her place, and she was kind enough to send them to me. They're in good shape. They've been hanging out in this water here, this mug full of water, for a couple of days. But now I'm going to plant them up and put some pieces in these terracotta pots, and I'm going to put one water propagated in that little glass vase there. So let me go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back with you and you can have a look at that. Okay, so I have them potted up. I put 2 in these terracotta pots. These are actually new pots that I've seen. They don't have the edging on them, so they're edgeless pots there, which is kind of neat. And then the third one I put here in this glass vase to water propagate that one. Now I've done a couple of different things with these ones planted in the cactus soil. I was thinking of cutting off all of the flowers so the cuttings can just concentrate and put all their energy into growing roots. But the blooms are just so beautiful, and they still have some blooms that haven't opened up yet. So I decided to do 2 things. I wanted to leave one with blooms and one without. So this pot has 2 cuttings in it that I left the majority of the blooms. There was one bloom stalk that I cut off that had all of its blooms open. And then the second pot, I put this cutting and cut off all of its blooms. I want to see kind of how it affects their growth pattern, if my initial instinct of cutting off the blooms was right, or just leaving some of the blooms on it. So we'll see how they grow on it. Now I'm not going to water these for a week. I'm going to let them sit in the soil for a week before I give them any water. They have been in water for a couple of days, so they should be okay, but I'm going to wait in watering the soil for at least a week, if not longer, to avoid root rot in them. Now this one I did put in the glass vase to try and get some roots off of that. Took off some of the leaves down at the very bottom so it'll fit snugly in there. And this one I am gonna leave the bloom stalk on it, and to see how that affects it from growing any roots. Let's see if I can get a better focus on that. Doesn't want to focus. So this one still has some blooms that aren't open. There we go. That aren't open yet. So we'll see how this one does. If the blooms on it affect it at all in growing roots. But the leaves are really healthy on this. They're nice and plump. So the tree was really, really healthy. So we'll see how long that takes to grow some roots. I do have a couple of leaves here that I can propagate. Here's the blooms that I took off, but there's a couple of leaves on here that were good that I'll propagate in my trays outside. But I'm going to leave these inside. I'm not going to put them out on the balcony because the nighttime temperatures are down below 50 degrees, and I just want to give them the best possible start. So I'm going to leave them inside and just put them near a nice bright window, but I'll leave them inside for right now. also wanted to give you an update on my paper whites bulbs that I planted. It's been a couple of weeks. I'll leave a link to the video showing how I planted them in water. You can see already that it has blooms that are going to be getting ready to bloom here very soon. It's really incredible to me how quickly they bloom, but they're are grown, but their growth pattern is so different. Every bulb is growing at a different rate. There's a couple growing really fast, a couple medium. This guy's just taking his time, obviously, but you can see the roots here, which is really cool. That's one of the reasons that I got this clear base, so you can see the roots growing on there. So very cool. Now I did have one bulb that was starting to look like it may be starting to rot in the other little container that I was growing. It was not giving off any roots. When I picked it up and looked at it, it wasn't giving off any roots, and the crown at the bottom was a little bit soft. So I took it out and let it dry a couple days, and now I just potted it up in soil today. So again, I'm going to wait to water it a couple of days at least, if not longer, for this one, and see how it does. It's not dead. I think I caught it in time, and it looks like it's still going to grow, but if I would have left it in the bowl of water that I had it in, I think it would have rotted. Like I said, the crown was not giving any roots at all, and it was soft, so I think it would have rotted if I left it. So we'll see how this one grows. So this is the second little glass bowl that I was had planted a couple weeks ago. You can see these are really lagging behind. This is the bowl that had that one bulb in it that I thought may rot, but the other two are barely starting to grow. You can see some roots in there, so I left these two in there. They're going to be okay. The roots are seeking the water, and they're going to be growing just fine. But again, the growth, these all came from the exact same bag of bulbs that I received, so it's just curious to me how they all grow at a different rate pattern, but just will be good, because that means that I'll have these flowers for longer. When the other flowers have finished blooming, these will just be starting to bloom, so it'll be nice to have flowers for much longer than anticipated. That's it for today, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope this gives you inspiration to grow something beautiful today, whether it be bulbs or succulent cuttings, whatever it may be. Bring a little beauty into the world and grow something wonderful. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And let me know in the comments, what is it that you're growing now in the middle of winter? What is it that you're growing in your garden? Please subscribe also. Thanks so much. Have a blessed day.